What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roamer, and I am bringing to you today an unboxing of Raiders of the North Sea. Now, this game is not new. This is one that has been released for a while, but this is not the main unboxing. The main unboxing is actually these two babies right here. This is the Kickstarter for Raiders of the North Sea that included both of the two expansions, Raiders of the North Sea Hall of Heroes and Fields of Fame, and also because it is a Kickstarter and I backed at this level, this is a box that actually will take all three of these and put them into one box, so you don't have three separate boxes and everything fits in here. It has a really cool tray where everything's going to fit in here all nice and neat. So we're going to take a look at this right quick. Since I got all these at the same time and I do not own this, I'm just going to go ahead and actually unbox the original game in addition to the other ones. So like I said, this is Raiders of the North Sea. Shem Phillips is the creator. Garfield Games is the producer. Basically, it's a somewhat, well, really it's a Euro style game. You're placing your units on the board. You're trying to build up a crew to go raid and getting the most points through raiding and a few other mechanisms. Mostly in the base game, raiding is your primary point generator overall. There's two or three ways to get points in here in the base game. But essentially what Hall of Heroes and Fields of Fame do is they add a lot more ways for you to get points. There's some additional boards that go out to the side that didn't exist before, some tracks that come out. So it's an alternative way to get points. Of course, you're going to get a lot of different stuff. You're going to get new cards, you're going to get new crew, you're going to get all kinds of stuff like that. But anywho, let's get with opening up this baby first. I will say this, having never actually seen a copy, I was quite surprised because in my mind, with the gameplays that I've seen, this box should have been way bigger than it actually is. I was expecting a significantly larger box, but this baby she be sturdy, thick, and really heavy. So I guess that's it. I guess I should show you the back. There's the board. Well, you can't really see it well. So there's the board where you're doing your worker placement and putting your units out, getting plunder, which you can use to get resources to make more, get other items to continue to plunder, or you can turn them in for glory to the head honcho. All right, so let's see what we got. We got the book, which is, wow, not a very thick book either. Of course, it's not a really complicated rule set. I mean, basically, you place a meeple, you pick up a meeple, and that's pretty much it. Looks pretty good. I mean, there's some iconography, but I feel like it's pretty obvious. Now, I guess I have the advantage of having seen some playthroughs, but there's not a whole lot of there's lots of words in here. I don't see a whole lot of examples, but I mean, like I said, it's really not shouldn't be that difficult, so that's cool. All right, so then we've got let's see here, we've got some cardboard bits. Set this to the side. These are the tiles that you can take and turn in to the Jarl. I believe that's what he's called. And this is a way to get points. So you can use the gold and silver and food and stone and all that to buy things on the board, or you can turn these favor tiles in, and you get these points at the end of the game. So that's a way to do some in-game scoring. All right, cool. Let's check this baby out. That's a really heavy. It's not a super thick board. I kind of honestly was expecting it to be a little bit thicker, but that's not necessarily a critique of it. That way. Okay. Oh, it's a very long board. A really pretty board though. Really good color. Overall, nice. Very, very nice. I'm really excited about playing this course. This is one that I can't play unless I could simulate people, but I'm looking forward to getting this one to the table. All right, so then we got our bits. Now this is the retail version. When I start opening these other ones over here, then we're going to see some Kickstarter components. Maybe, I can't remember. I think they'll be in here, or they may be in this. Yeah, there may be some Kickstarter stuff in this bigger box. But you basically have wooden meeples for all the resources, for your pawns that you're moving around. There's 3 color pawns, black, gray, and white. And you basically pick one up, and certain spots will require certain colored pawns. Some trackers for your different tracks for your armor, for your point track, things of that nature. So pretty cool. Interesting. There's not a whole lot of there's a lot more space in the box with the way it's packaged, but I guess they did that to give the game board a place to rest, even though for us that's not going to matter here in just a minute. Alright, then we got your cards. Ship cards, which are basically like the cards for the player to track their points. And also, you can, I keep doing that. You can see here it's got a 50. These actually have 2 sides, so your track only goes to 50. So what you do is you've got this card, and then as soon as you hit 50 points, you keep this card on the side with the 0, or I don't even think it has anything over here. You flip it, and then you'll add these points to whatever you are around the track for in-game scoring. And then of course you've got your deck of cards here. Take a quick look at some of those. I want to fill the cards. See how they are weight-wise. Pretty good. They got a linen finish, sort of. I think. Yeah, a little bit of a linen finish. So a little bit of snap to them. Cool. So yeah, you got all these cards, and all each one of these cards, right? They have a value for attacking. They've got a cost over here on the side, and then you can either play them into your crew, or you can just play them for a benefit, the one-time benefit, and discard them. So depending on what building you go to. So really nice and smooth. I was afraid. Well, I'll say I was afraid. I guess that's not really right. I was hoping that they would be real smooth like that, because sometimes you get the cards, and if they're not really good quality, you got the problem where they stick together, but these are good to go. And put these back in here for now. Let's see here. I'm going to open this, but I want to be careful. So I wish these small packs like this would come with that same thing. There we go. So you got a few more, handful more of crew cards, and then this is what I was talking about. So the back side of these player cards, you see it does not have a point value, but then when you flip it over, it's got that 50 right there. So that's how you know that's how you know for scoring purposes where you're around the track. If you're really at 50, or you're really at almost 100. Hopefully you'll be closer to 100. Then some red die, just a big red standard D6 for combat. It's nothing special. It does come with these really cool coins though. I was really quite surprised. And this, like I said, this box, as far as I know, is not the Kickstarter version or anything like that from the original Kickstarter. Oh my god. But like, these coins are not, I think they're metal. They certainly feel like they're metal. Sound like they're metal, but they're really, really cool. They're the same on both sides. I'll see if I can go like this. Maybe I'll pick it up. No. My classic, but I mean, you can hear the clinkety clink. Alright, cool. And I probably should have just pulled out like one of these and not like all of these. If I was smart, I would have just done one. But apparently I'm not that smart. And then we have just this black bag, and what this is you take all these resources that you have that we had in this bag at the beginning of the game, and you use those to seed the board. So all these spots here will have resources on them, 3 or 4, 2, depending on what the number is, up here in the corner. And so you put that many resources there, and once you battle there and win, you'll get a number of victory points or glory, and you'll also get resources from that spot. So if I went here, I'll get some number of points depending on my combat power after I pay my cost, which is 2 gold. So that's a resource. So you got to do some plunder or in town trade basically for these goods. A minimum crew size, and then the 2 dice, and whatever's in here when I complete one of these 2 spaces, that's the resources I'll get. So it's random, so you put them in the bag and then just distribute them across the board. Cool. So that is Raiders of the North Sea. All right, so that one's been out for a little while. So that's not new. Let me put this stuff back in here. And there we go. That is. What I'll do when I get done with all this is I'm actually gonna put it all in the big box, so to speak. Alright, cool. So we'll set that to the side. So now we'll do Fields of Fame. So Fields of Fame is, let's see here. This is in Raiders of the North Sea, Fields of Fame. Enemy Jarls have joined forces to help defending against the onslaught of raids, but despite the threats, there is fame awaiting those who seek to kill. Oh, that's right. So essentially, these become, instead of having outposts to fight, if I remember correctly, I think the Jarls that are down here are basically more powerful enemies, and once you buy them or beat them or whatever it is, then you get their card into your crew, and they generally are a little bit more powerful cards, I believe. Yeah. So let's open it up and see. I'll have to look at the rule book because I may have just told you wrong, but I think that's how that works. So get off the shrink. Oh, also, I know this lighting is a little bit off, but I had to let a buddy of mine borrow the lights that I've got and my camera stand, because it's really actually a light stand. So, good Lord. Release. There it goes. So, the lighting is just a little bit off today. All right. Here we go. Oh, wow, that's a really thin. We have Valkyrie dice. Huh, cool. So let's see here. So you have a whole nother board, and you place them over there. Place all wounds. Each player plays receives one encounter board. These will keep track of any yarn encounter. Oh, so everybody gets another. Okay. Interesting. Alright, we'll look at that in a second. So we have token multipliers. We have this encounter board, which I'm not sure what this iconography does, but we'll find out eventually. Then we have, here's the board. So basically this just sits alongside. This just sits alongside the main board, except that I have it turned backwards. This just sits alongside the main board, the big long board, and so now you have an additional track over here. Let's see. It looks like there's player colors, and it also would appear that there are some additional. Looks like some defense tokens, so a couple of additional tokens, and looks like some trackers and a couple more meeples to see over here, or maybe I don't know. But anyway, I guess I should just pull these out while I'm doing it right. I won't make this longer than necessary. So there's a new token, and here's like a little, looks like defensive token almost. And then of course your gray markers and a couple other tokens in there. What are those tokens for? Let's see here. So we have wounds, which are what these are. So I guess they can take damage. And Jarl tokens, which mean something that I'm not sure of yet. Workers, score markers, townsfolk cards. So we have another stack of cards. Some of these are townsfolk. Some of these are Jarls, it looks like, maybe. Let's see. Let's see here. Shoot. Yeah. So there's a combination of, looks like Jarls, and then so you can see that Jarl is, I mean, five combat's pretty good, but 4 silver, that's a lot for hiring. There's a 6. So, but I'm assuming that somehow you've got to defeat them. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Set up. Oh, well. Each player receives the following: 1 ship card in their chosen color, 2 silver, 1 black worker, 5 townsfolk. Oh. That must be in-game scoring. Add each player's score in the following areas to the main victory track: Valkyrie track, armor track. That's on the other board. I believe fame, quest, offerings, higher subdued Jarls. Yeah, so you basically subdue these Jarls into submission to fight for you. And then, of course, it came with some additional cards that, for instance, this one is gain 1 VP for every Jarl you have subdued. So, you've got cards to kind of... Well, that's it. That's a Jarl. Never mind. That's a bad example. Gain 1 silver after subduing a Jarl. So, you got cards, regular crew cards that facilitate interact with the Jarls too, plus your your normal cards there. And then I guess these are oh, that's right. This increases the number of players too. So there's an additional player count. I think I don't know if it ups it by 1 or 2, but it does increase the maximum number of players. I forgot about that. Totally forgot about that. That's cool. I like that. I mean, 4 is a good number. Don't get me wrong, but there definitely are times when you have more than 4 people, and it kind of sucks a little bit for somebody that's there that can't play, or you have stuff that that does not hit the table nearly as often because you don't I've got too many people, so I got to play something else that is more conducive to that. So I can appreciate that, having those additional. So that is Fields of Fame. These expansions are not, massive, but they're not massive in size. But I think they do add a lot of replayability and a lot of optional, really good stuff that you wouldn't normally get. Don't get me wrong. This base game on its own, primo game. I've not played it, but I've seen it played, and I've watched several playthroughs. And I never got it. But once I saw this expansion, the expansion's coming out on Kickstarter, and I had the opportunity to just get the whole thing at one time, especially with this organizing box, which we'll see here shortly. I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. So cool. So that's Fields of Fame. Alright, so next we're going to look at the Hall of Heroes. And so this is says a meat hall has been constructed, attracting a new breed of adventurers. Each raid brings new quests for daring to endure. With meat in abundance, there's little room. Sharpen your axe, etc., etc., etc. So this is going to add a new location, it looks like, or a couple new locations, and some additional ways to generate points, and yeah. So this is Hall of Heroes, and you can't. This is not these expansions. You can play with 1, both, or none when you're playing the game. So I do like that, and I don't think there's any major setup changes different. That I can think of, at least right off the top of my head. Of course, obviously, as you can see, I have not read the rule books to know, but I do not believe there's a solo variant. Maybe somebody's made one on BGG, but that's the only thing that I don't like. But that's not a knock on the game. That's just because of my gaming situation. I do have to play a lot solo, or I have to, for when I'm doing a game. Sometimes I'll simulate 2 people, but I do play a lot personally solo. So I don't have a group that I just consistently with. So there you go. All right, Hall of Heroes. Let's check this baby out. So we have, of course, the rule book. Looks like you can get reputation. Looks like you can get reputation and then kind of like spend it to get stuff. Let's see here. So you have this extra board. Some reputation tiles. It looks like the reputation tiles give you Horror's Heroes, either place or pick up work. Let's see. Charm the crowd. So you can pick some. Okay, so it looks like you can pick some people up, but you have to spend some resources to pick these people up, and they must have some pretty good abilities. You can complete a quest, which I think that's essentially the same thing as the Jarl. Well, sort of. Let's see. Each time a settlement is raided, a quest must be drawn from the top of the quest draw pile and placed face up over the empty space where the plunder once sat. Quests offer new ways for players to see victory point. Oh. So these settlements, these tiles go on the settlements, and so you can actually go back and pay the goods for that tile. Okay. And it looks like there's escort, kill, and steal quests. Cool. Reputation. Oh yeah, so okay, so it looks like each player gets a reputation board, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. But looks like mead is a new item that you can use. So this has 3. So we have a number of these reputation tiles. Cool. And then here's the reputation board, and each player, it would appear, gets one of these. Set this off to the side for now. So I guess as you gain reputation, as you gain points, sorry, that's not reputation. For each one of these quests you complete, that's going to be in-game points. So you get 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 4 for 3, 5 for 4, etc., all the way up to 16. That's what it is. And you can go here and take this mead hall action, I guess. I don't know. But you get an extra board for it. And this is something that each player has. This is not something, whereas Fields of Fame is just an add-on to the main board. This is player specific, or not player specific. All the boards are the same, but each player gets one. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'll get it out eventually. Cool. Let's see here. Let me double check. Make sure. Oh well, we're going to answer my question from earlier. So there's 1 board, 2 boards, 3 boards, 4 boards, 5 boards, 6 boards. So looks like the expansion, the Fields of Fame. Well, let's see. Let me look in here. There's mead. Oh, it looks like this adds another. Maybe this adds another player. Let's set these off to the side real quick. Now this. Okay, so these are the player boards. But this I believe. Yeah. So this will actually get added to the main board, just like another spot where you can do your normal actions taking place. These require silver and mead to get these guys, and I see some arrows here, so I guess there's a progression there that you have to follow somehow, and then some tiles over here. So cool. Definitely. Once I get this up and going, I'll definitely do a playthrough to include the expansions. So here's the mead resources. Honestly, to me they look kind of like wheat, like bread, but those are steins, I suppose. And then of course you got markers for your different tracks and whatnot. That's purple, so I'm assuming that's another player. Yeah, probably. Well, let's see. I'm gonna really want to know. Let's see here. So the original was 2 to 4 players. So each one of these expansions adds a new player. That's what they're doing. Yep. Cool. All right, and then let's see what we got. If I can find the thing, there it is. Shoot, where are you at? I thought that was it right there. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Alright, cool. So what do we got? So we have Raider cards, more setup cards. Townsfolk, regular townsfolk cards. Oh, so these are all regular townsfolk cards. I'm sure somehow they're used to seed the board, and then here's the new purple player color. Cool. Alright, so that is Hall of Heroes. Awesome. So let's get all this back in the box. Just for a minute, because then I'm going to try to turn around and put it in what I'm fixing to show you. And I am really super excited about what I'm fixing to show you. I love board gaming. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel for it. One of the things that I think does not happen consistently enough is that the storage solution for these guys, they don't think about that. And especially, like, I know, you know, when you talk about storage, you know, you can't predict the future and the number of expansions or whatever you'll have. But and I know that there are companies out there like Broken Token, Meeple Realty, etc., that make organizers. But I do appreciate a company that takes the time to do storage right. Like, there's not a lot to these tiles, so these are not a good example. But for instance, since I've got it sitting here, Lisboa, which I've been working on learning. Super fun game. Super heavy, you know, super heavy Euro. But look at this. This is amazing. This is what I talk about when I say they do storage right. So out of the box, okay, out of the box, they have all these trays, right, for all the different stuff. These trays are actually, it's not one big tray. It's actually like two, like this side's a tray, this side's a tray, and then you got this over here. And you actually take these two trays out. You can take them out and use them to hold your tokens when you're playing. And then they've got this nice plastic lid, right, that goes on top of it, so it keeps everything once it's packed and stored. Pretty much, I mean, everything so far when I've played anyway has always stayed inside of these the bins, right? And that took design. They had to kind of think about where they wanted stuff and how they wanted to do it. That's the kind of thing that I say when I say I appreciate that, you know, they took the time to do. So, having said that, when I checked out the Kickstarter, you know, you could just get the games. You could just get the 2 expansions, the Hall of Heroes and the Fields of Fame, by themselves. Just come in their standard box, and you know, it wasn't a big deal. You know, you could you could have, you know, you could have all 3 of these, right? Will that work? Absolutely, that would totally work. And I mean, you know, it's pretty cool when it's sitting on the shelf and you see, you know, all those boxes, and you're like, you see all the expansions. But this, now, the only thing I would say about this that I really don't want to say don't like, because it's not necessarily that I don't like it, but this top box does not have, you know, some sort of name on it like these do. It's on the side, right? So if you look at the edges, it's got it printed. And if you're feeling frisky, you can display it in one of 2 additional languages. But I would really have rather had, I mean, I really wish that they would have put the title on the top of the box. I think, you know, call it Raiders of the North Sea. I don't know. At least put Raiders of the North Sea on there. But it's not the end of the world. You know, my shelfie is just in a closet and nobody ever sees but me. So it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you. It's just kind of for me, it's just kind of like, well, it would have been cool. Would have been nice. So this is a box that is made to hold all these expansions, right? It's made to hold all this stuff that we've just opened by Shim. He designed it, and so all the bits and pieces and whatnot. So we're going to go in this box. From what I've seen, as far as in the Kickstarter, what he sent us, pictures of it, it's really nice, really well laid out. A good tray to just have sitting out with all the stuff when you're playing. So let's open it up and see what we got here. I mean, I can't imagine that I would be underselling it, but I suppose, to be fair, that's always a possibility. These boxes are really tight boxes. Okay. Cool. Okay. Oh, that's right. So these are the Kickstarter. Basically, these replace all those cardboard provision tokens that came in all the other boxes, so that all of the components on the board are now wood. I forgot about that. Let's see. That's it. Yeah. So really, all it is just this insert, but it's actually, I mean, it is plastic, right? But I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty thick. Like, I don't see any splits, and I can't imagine that there's anything that's so heavy that it's gonna bust it or it's not gonna fit into it. But you got a place for your cards. You have all your, you know, that kind of stuff. You got various tokens, and all the player boards and stuff will stack a combination of on each of these sides, and then the main board will go here. So Cool. So give me a minute, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch all this out, and I'll have to go online, and I will put it all in here, show you how it all fits, and then, yeah, that's where we'll be at. So hold on, I'll be right back. I'll see you in just a second. What's up, guys? All right, I have boxed up the contents. So this box, as we just saw, holds all of these. It holds Raiders of the North Sea and both the Hall of Heroes and Fields of Fame expansions. They're all in this box. So not a light box for sure. So here we go. Here's how it's laid out, and it's actually really good. So you got the main board that sits on top here. Then you have your rule books, and then you have these two whales for all the player boards. So here's the Fields of Fame boards right here. Here's the Hall of Heroes board. I believe that's the Hall of Heroes. Anyway, all these player boards, and then the two side boards for the main board that's over here sit there. So then you got all of your tokens for the Jarls, your money, your dice, all your player components. Let me hold this up. All your player components, color markers. These are the provision replacement tokens. This is normally, right, you normally have these cardboard ones, which I left in here because if I don't, I'll never find them again. Then you got your me tokens, and down here, part of the what you have to do is you have to seed that sideboard with 5 gold, and so I went ahead and put the 5 gold per Shim's recommendation down in here with it. And then you got all your tiles, your quest tiles, your Jarl tiles to turn in those to different items and stuff for that. Then you have your a couple of more little sideboards that everybody gets for the I can't remember if I think it's for the Hall of Heroes sideboard. And of course you got your dice and some special dice for I believe it's Fields of Fame. They're basically the same D6, right? A normal D6, but they do have this symbol, and that symbol allows you to grab some additional pieces. When we talk about the game, when we play the game, we'll talk about that. But so pretty good overall, I think. I know you could probably lay these down, but then you can't really do that. Yeah. So overall, I think it's pretty good deal. I kind of wish that these were smaller, or there was an insert, or I don't know, something. I'm not a big fan of just letting these like hang out and lean back. As you can see, there's really actually a lot of space. I put these here to kind of curtail some of that, and I could probably find something to put in here too. But I'd rather them be straight up and down to prevent warping. But I don't think it's not a end of the world type deal. I don't think it's going to break anything or anything like that. So cool. That's the box. I do not know if this will be available in retail, but hey, I found some plans online and did a custom insert for Twilight Imperium with the 5mm foam core. So I feel confident that you could probably make something very similar for this. If you want to do something like that, let me know, and I can maybe make some measurements of what's in here and tell you what's going on. So cool. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next unboxing and or playthrough. Not sure what we're going to do next. I've been playing a lot of Lisboa, trying to learn it. I'm still not 100% on it, especially the solo version is very confusing to me. And I've seen some videos, and it seems like a few of the videos do it a different way, so I'm trying to figure out what's the actual right way to do some of the things. But anywho, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.